Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me today for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today I'm going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 11, Roadhog, starring Raymond, Massey, Robert Emhardt, and Richard Chamberlain. And as always, there will be episode spoilers. So Roadhog is really a great classic episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, in my opinion. The acting is really good, especially from Robert Emhardt, who always seems to be entertaining when I see him and stuff. And here he plays a very nasty individual. The plot isn't overly complex. It's a classic revenge story, and I did figure out the twist, but it doesn't really take too much away from the episode at all because it's so well done. So this episode starts with a young girl watching a butterfly outside of a cafe. Seems like an innocent enough scene, but a traveling salesman comes by and steps on the butterfly for no reason other than to be mean. The young girl is very upset, but this man, whose name is Ed, seems amused by the whole thing. This is a great opening scene to get us invested at how horrible Ed is, and he only gets worse from here. So next, Ed goes inside the cafe and tries to sell some stuff, and he complains that he isn't selling enough of anything. He's just a very unpleasant and crabby person all the way around. Next, we cut to a farm where three brothers are having problems with a bull, and one of the brothers gets badly injured at this point. So the father, a farmer named Pine, and his other two sons get their truck and try to drive the injured son to the hospital as quickly as possible because he's losing a lot of blood. So as they are driving, they get held up by a car in front of them that won't pull over, doesn't seem to be in any hurry, and of course this turns out to be the very annoying salesman Ed. Even after he knows it's an emergency, he still won't pull over because he just doesn't seem to care at all, and this guy is really awful. But he gets even worse as he drives the truck off the road. And eventually the farmer Pine does get his son to the doctor, but it's too late to save him. And the doctor says had they gotten there sooner, he probably could have saved the young man. So now Pine and his other two sons want revenge. So Pine figures out from the cafe owner who he is looking for and waits at the cafe every single day until Ed arrives. Eventually, Ed does show up, and the two sons of Pine take most of the gas out of his car while Ed is in the cafe. So as Ed leaves, he runs out of gas, and of course, Pine offers to help him. So they drive back to the farm. Pine offers Ed a drink and also tells him the tragic story of his son, and Ed doesn't seem too interested at all because, again, he just is not a very nice person until he realizes that he is part of the story and not the good part of it. So it turns out Ed's even more interested in what's happening when it turns out he was tricked into drinking poison, or so he thinks at least. So now the tables are turned and Ed has only limited time to make it to the hospital so that he can be saved. And of course, we can all see where this is going. Pine's son is there blocking the road, and eventually Ed, who is really freaking out at this point, is run off the road and he crashes and he's a goner. And then we get a last scene at the farm and Pine finds out what happened to Ed. We also find out he didn't really drink poison. That part of it was all just a story, which I pretty much figured out right away that this part was all a trick. But it doesn't take away from the impact of this episode, and I still thought this was a great and fitting twist ending. So Roadhog overall is a very well acted and well directed, very suspenseful episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Ed is definitely one of the nastiest characters I think on the show, and how he met his demise was very well done in my opinion. So overall I'm going to give Roadhog a 4.5 out of 5. If the twist could have been hidden a little bit better, I probably would have given this episode a 5, but I still do think this is an all-time classic episode of the show, and I definitely recommend it to all Alfred Hitchcock Presents fans. As always, feel free to leave me a comment on if you liked this episode or not, if you've seen it. Thanks for your support, and thanks very much for watching.